Yeah, I'm the CEO of Atlas Agent, and I am bringing a decade of experience in tech and entrepreneurship, and currently lead the company strategy and business development, as well as also the product architect of the behind the company's marketing and development strategy.
So what is it the company does?
So we have built over a lot of customer surveys, an automations platform for real estate professionals to help automate their contract closing process for real estate transactions. And we've found that in these professionals day to day, they're managing multiple listings at any given time, and a lot of documents flow in and out of their inbox. And we've noticed this trend of trying to get organized with tools by piecing together many different applications to make that work. And what we have gathered is simplifying that process by providing a very quick and easy platform that they can plug in with all of their existing apps and have a done for you solution where all of their document management processes are automated to be able to create a very streamlined real estate transaction process.
I take it that's going to sort of reduce mistakes and increase speed.
Yeah, and a lot of our customers are finding that they don't have that much time in the day. They, as I'm referring to real estate professionals, as in real estate agents, brokers, builders, loan officers, title agents, lenders, everyone in that real estate transaction process, and all the different third-party providers that upload documents in order to close the deal for these buyers and sellers all take place with the use of these real estate agents. And we like to say we are the agent to the real estate agent, and providing that simplified process on the home buying and the home selling journey.
So that's going to make homeowners or property owners, property managers happier, reduce their costs, as well as the community, all the people in the process.
Yeah, exactly. And we have found a lot of CRM light solutions, but we wanted to focus on automations from day one. And one of our first product features was automated document requesting, which essentially handles, and our platform handles, all of the missing documents and requesting of those email documents from all of the different parties involved for a particular listing. So instead of an assistant or even the agent themselves going out and requesting an inspection report or a broker fee agreement, they would essentially be able to plug and play with our system. And based on the due date of those items, we would send out email requests with reminders for those parties to automatically upload those documents. And you can even recommend additional documents that are needed automatically for these agents.
So this brings me to a key question, really. Tell me one of the business assumptions that you had when you started out that you've since really changed your mind on.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a journey to get to this point of a product market fit. Really, the assumptions were that these agents in the beginning wanted a solution that was just another document management solution that is smarter. But what we've really moved towards is this smarter transaction management system paired with automations directly from their inbox. And it was that inbox piece that we're now able to test and really provide a lot of value for our customers, because we weren't able to do that without AI. And AI does make that possible for us to provide that solution of bringing in and really categorizing these incoming emails with all of these different listings, because every agent and real estate professional can be working on up to 50 listings at any given moment. By not only having a platform that can request documents, but on the collection side, being able to collect those attachments and categorize based on the listing and property address directly into a platform is where we really stand out.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, it sounds like that's a pivot, maybe in more ways than one as well, because I think originally your thoughts were to work with agents exclusively, real estate agents exclusively, and you found actually that, as you described a minute ago, it's sort of like a whole community, a much wider market that you've been able to, this realization has enabled you to pivot into. Is that right?
Yeah, no, that's completely right. And really, builders who we didn't assume when we first started to be a market segment that also faced the same problem is another pivot point, like you said. The value add is really for the title companies and the lenders, who also was another market segment that we eventually uncovered by talking to agents. I mean, this real estate community is really segmented with a lot of different niches within this entire market, and being able to understand all of the different relationships for all of these different professionals really was a key learning moment. I mean, even as a former real estate agent and going through the process, even on the buying and selling side as an investor, you really get to see firsthand all of the different players involved and how every professional is almost doing the real estate transaction process in their own way based on their business and their company. And what we would like to see in providing a more streamlined, automated solution is by bringing in all of these parties together to be able to create a more standardized process across all of these different niches, really help guide the buyer and seller, who really are more in line with the agents who are handholding them in this process, especially with the first-time home buyer.
Yeah. So, I mean, with all these different kind of interests, these groups of people involved in the process, I mean, as well as the inbox, the AI, the inbox integration, and those things that you talked about, what additional systems do you think you've implemented to ensure that actually customer results are achieved, that help the agents communicate with the actual customers, the homeowners or the property owners?
Yeah, that's a good question. And I think your question is speaking to a little bit about like how we're currently operating as a leadership team. And I mean, I couldn't have done everything without the help of my other partners helping with all the other departments that I oversee as well. And so being able to have these cross-functional teams and sprints with advisors and turning those customer feedback issues and turning them into features, and then really scripting out what that user journey really is going to look like with these new features involved. It's a lot of feedback loops from all the departments like sales and support and the advisors and the early customers and our beta customers, and really iterating on this transaction process, which is right now very complex and many different types of transactions in the real estate market. I mean, you have the wholesale market doing deals with investors and hard money lenders, but then you have the traditionalists, these traditional or conventional home buyers who it's their first time going through this process, not really understanding that, like what it takes to go from the beginning to the end. And then you have builders who are on their own. They're developing ground up homes, and that whole trajectory really moves up from, on the development side, everything from these small single family home spec builders all the way up to multifamily apartments and retail. Then I can't even get into all the people doing apartments, because that whole world is a whole other beast that we're not tackling with our product. But these portfolio apartment investors are just a whole nother piece of the industry that we're not really touching. But sticking with our two main categories of the estate agent with the first-time home buyer seller, the builders who sometimes even help build for a first-time home buyer, as well as real estate investors who really do value the speed of time in a real estate transaction, and they want to do more deals, and they need to stay updated on all of their existing transactions as well.
So it seems to me from what you're saying is, you entered an established market that's obviously been around for a very long time. It's built its traditions and it's got its kind of, vertical elements, silos, some people refer these to. And you're basically going in, helping them to communicate. And to a certain extent, what you must be developing is a certain amount of how-to or thought leadership in how this needs to actually work. So you not only actually have to deliver technology, software solutions and solve problems and facilitate communication on an ongoing basis of deal progress, you've actually got to kind of pretty much educate all the people across the market. Is there a lot of that? Has that been
tough? Yeah. So the education piece is really delivering the right content that stands out to that market. Having channel partners and these partnerships, such as all of the different commercial real estate investment groups, or where we office from at Builder Supply Group, having partners who are design showrooms where these builders and where these agents already work and live and office and breathe and take their clients to. That is, I think, what sets us apart is our ability to really provide that content directly into the hands to the people in these locations. And it is fascinating for me to know that the real estate industry is a very people-oriented business, even though we are talking about AI. And
yeah,
my personal opinion after hearing thoughts from others about there will be eventually a one company that is run only by AI and all these agents, I personally do not believe or even agree with that, because I believe business is about people. And I think people want and do their best work with collaborating with very domain specific professionals in their field. Yes, like I can talk to a marketing AI, but I feel like there is a better use to connect with a marketing professional, that a human, a person that I can connect with that can oversee that AI or that agent. And so, yes, it is going to be surrounded by people still is the future that I see. And a lot of that takes a lot of thought, and being able to communicate that point across to our market segment, because this real estate industry is very sensitive to words like AI and replacing humans. And so that is an early finding that, it didn't take it wasn't too hard to find that out, but it does key into the same thought process about how this, delivery of our product, our solutions, and our company is in our go-to-market really matters.
Yeah, because, businesses in this sector were around before AI. So the people, had processes for implementation, and they would all buy, as we all would in every industry, buy into the idea of reduced costs, reduced errors, increased speed, all that kind of thing. But because of their past experience, they still kind of would want it done their way. And, so how much do you find that are you simply replicating the process? Or is the automation actually kind of developing new processes in terms of delivery for customers?
Yeah. So, where we're at today, it's a very static, automated process. And that was deliberate because we entered into this market with two thoughts in mind. There is the deterministic outlook and then the undeterministic outlook and perspective and processes of how to handle this type of automation. And in order to move into this AI realm, it really caters into this idea of undeterministic questions and prompts and like word turns of phrases that these inquiries are coming in. But in real estate, and just like every other industry, there is no room for errors, especially when we first started developing this. And so we needed to start with a very deterministic product and process and system, because we need 100% and our customers need 100% assurance. So how we first prototyped was really even searching for exact permutation search terms for those listing addresses, for example. Obviously, in the future, these models will continue to get smarter, and we can utilize a lot of the heavy lifting with just an AI prompt. For example, instead of searching for the entire search term for a property listing, which has different permutations of commas, they have cities and addresses, some have zip codes, sometimes they miss the zip code, whatever. We can eventually move into this paradigm once we have a more deterministic approach with these LLMs, and these LLMs do get very smart, where you can just ask it, hey, this property address, all permutations of this property address, make sure that you can categorize this incoming email correctly. And so we're not quite there yet. There's still obviously some more work that needs to be done, I guess, at the time of this airing. But there will be a point where these AI models will eventually start feeling very deterministic.
Well, I guess even an approval process is going to save some time. I mean, if the data is presented and you just need to verify, that's a lot easier than necessarily having to read from scratch, locate, read, display, read, and then determine where it's going to go. Because in a lot of cases, the determination will be accurate, so it'll be just approve, bang, done.
And correct. I mean, that definitely is in line with what I've mentioned, I guess, in the past, is this phenomena and this perspective and philosophy that we have, which is that people are going to be moving from this world of doers into reviewers, and being able to verify and check and keep a human in the loop. Those same concepts are going to play a key role in the future of AI.
I love the difference between doers and reviewers. See, that's your thought leadership coming out there. Money, income streams. What surprised you? I think you might have touched on it. Like, you weren't originally thinking of builders, but now you include builders. You've touched on another market, the rentals market. You were originally talking about estate agents. I mean, it sounds like you continue to be surprised, or you can see an increasing range of opportunities ahead. What has surprised you that has performed, in what way do these things surprise you that they perform differently to the way you initially expected, to what you've discovered, having gone to market, actually, like being, now a provider, having gone from an idea to a service provider?
So it's a great question. I mean, we initially started like most SaaS companies to have a freemium model, which we do. And that allows our users to be able to test and try out our app, and also match with the current market industry standard, which is this start free trial option to be able to take a look and test out our software if it's right for you. But being able to create add-ons was also another flavor of our pricing menu that we really wanted to add, because from what we were hearing, it's being able to have a solid base platform that you can start adding as needed with our add-on services. And we're testing different services right now where there's a lot of just different implementations that we want to customize for our customers, and being able to also understand what we are really delivering here is streamlined and organized data for our customers. And we want to continue to keep building on this document management solution for our customers, so that they are able to keep their information private and secure within our platform.
Some people will see what you do as yet another cost added on top. How have you managed to sort of change the conversation to demonstrate really that this is not a cost, but actually something that will save people money.
Yeah. So right now we're only testing our add-on solutions with our existing customers. We do want to provide the best out of the box solution, and we want to continue adding value into the existing base pricing plan. The future of what I see in this company is to continue adding on and delivering on a very simplified pricing plan structure. And that's why right now we are deliberate in having just a free tier plan, which includes a lot of features to be able to do your transactions and automate your transactions. But then we only have two other pricing tiers and pricing plans that allow you to scale up as needed.
Okay. We've talked about these various communities that exist that you work with. How do you, and you know, your belief in the fact that it's a people business, how do you, perhaps unusually, how do you, as an AI company, a CEO of an AI company, how do you communicate with that wider market in practice? I mean, how do you get away from the PC and in front of clients? How does that work?
Yeah, it's a good question. So, I mean, that was another deliberate choice to office and office from an actual design showroom where there is a flow of traffic. And what I mean by that is, for us right now, we are currently here in Austin at Builder Supply Group. And it's a design showroom where you can, as a home buyer or a builder or as an agent, to check out different materials for your finishes, for your countertops, wood flooring, tiles. And so the reason for that is so that, for multiple reasons, but a few of the reasons would be, like, one, for example, agents and builders and every professional in this industry loves being in person to go visit, because it's just the nature of the business. I mean, you're talking to contractors, you're showing property, you're opening doors, you are in the office talking to other real estate agents. You also want to go to design showrooms with your clients, or you can take your clients to and refer them to be able to choose out what their finishes are going to be like, or taking them to a lighting or a cabinet store. So it's a very in-person connection in this industry. And so that's where we wanted to also be, and how we're thinking about it from an automation standpoint with AI for these professionals is to almost create like an agent innovation circle where these professionals can still go out into the world and do business and also get their automations done and still be in person talking to a real life person. And that's only going to spark new ideas, and really this idea of being able to walk and go about and do your business without having that change of pace of going back to your laptop and computer back at home in silo, which a lot of these real estate professionals, I can speak to, I guess, the agents and builders, they would rather prefer to be at a property, to see things building, to see people's and new families eyes light up, seeing the home that they actually want. That's where a lot of these professionals really like.
So it sounds like, you know, you want to be where the market is actually happening, where you can learn from the market, but you can talk to them. It's like you want to shine the, you know, instead of, like, most people in, let's say, IT work in the dark, right? They work in a room, a back room, often it's referred to. And, you know, they work on their machine, and eventually they come out of it and go, being in the light, the way you are, being in the front room, you get to talk one-to-one about actual needs and interests. And you could say, hey, well, if we can automate that, I guess that would be useful, wouldn't it? And so you can actually test ideas, perhaps potentially before developing them, so that when you do get to develop stuff, you're developing stuff to match customer needs.
Yeah, and I can't tell you, like, funny enough, like getting like a real estate agent or a builder on a Zoom call or a Google Meet, like in the early days, was so difficult to get in. Like to get time with them. But as soon as, we were able to office from BSG, like things changed. And like what I realized then was these professionals really love being in person for these meetings and really want to be there to see and touch and talk to.
Okay. So, I mean, in this situation, you might even be in a situation where you hear more ideas than you want to hear. So how do you kind of, what framework do you use to kind of say, hang on, that's an acceptable idea, that's a good idea, that's one I can implement, and you know what, that's a great idea, but that's not got a lot to do with what we can help with? What framework, what decision basis do you have to?
Yeah, I mean, it's also the same perspective that you hold, which is you, after talking to so many customers and potential customers, to almost like average the ideas, but at the same time, you have to take notice of the ideas and the topics that keep getting repeated, because the best ideas get repeated and the best ideas float to the top. And so really, if you hear it multiple times over, it's almost an instinct at that point where you know what to build because you've been listening. If not, then you haven't been talking to that many people. And so the idea is continue talking to a ton of people so that you can eventually find and hear those very common ideas that keep getting repeated, keep getting said.
Yeah, wow, that's really interesting and an excellent way to tie up this little interview, because the whole purpose of doing this interview is to listen to ideas and suggestions that people such as yourself are actually running a business with live, I like to call them wiggly customers, human beings, and to gather feedback and then to share the results with others, because that's really what I'm doing here. And I'm very happy to see you're doing the same and finding it's really useful for your business, as I think it is useful for everyone in business to do that. So thank you very much for your time talking to me today, and I look forward to our further discussions.
All right. Thanks, David. Thanks for having me.